How can you be a great professional networker if you deal with social anxiety? This can be a huge challenge for those who deal with this. And so we're going to dive in, talk about how you can utilize that and overcome this and still be a great professional networker. Let's dive in. Hey there, my name is Jeff Perry, leadership and career development expert and author of The Intentional Engineer and The Intentional Career Guide to Professional Networking. And today we're focused on networking and some of the challenges to that. So one of the key challenges that people deal with when engaging in professional networking, which is really just about building meaningful professional relationships, is dealing with social anxiety. And this is very common. And so to help us through this, I want us to reframe a couple things. First of all, sometimes this comes from a misunderstanding that we have about introverts and extroverts. Now, in my coaching and training practice, I largely focus on engineering and technical professionals. And inside of that field, there's a good majority that identifies as introverts. People who really want to be alone or in very small groups. And so when they think about networking, they think about these large events and, chatting with all sorts of people and feeling like, hey, extroverts are the ones who really thrive there. That's not always true. Some of the people who I've been able to connect the most deeply with are introverts, not extroverts. And that's because introverts often tend towards being able to connect more in a deeper level. Yeah, they may not be the life of the party, and that's okay. So let's lean into your strengths and see that networking is just about cultivating relationships. And so especially for introverts, you're going to have a strength in quality. Maybe extroverts might be easier. It might be easier for them to get a quantity of connections, but introverts will have a strength in the quality of them because of the way that they approach things. Now, second is let's make sure that you craft yourself a toolbox to have questions and ways to spark meaningful conversations. Because one of the ways that we do meet people is in new in-person interactions, or maybe we need to reach out to new folks and have conversations. And that can be anxiety-inducing in those social settings. And so one of the ways to reduce some of the anxiety is to feel prepared. And so have a toolbox of questions that are go-tos that you can ask to keep the conversation going. Because it's one of the great fears is like, okay, what do I say? We get to a certain point, I feel like I'm stuck. What do I say? So if you can cultivate some great questions you can ask and other ways you can keep those conversations going, that's going to be helpful. Third is make sure that we prepare. So for a specific event or circumstance you're going to, make sure to prepare. Who's going to be there? What do you want to say? Do you have an elevator pitch ready? And other things so that you can make sure that you're ready to introduce yourself and make the most of it. The more preparation that you've got, the lower your anxiety and fear levels are going to be. And then let's make sure that we just start small, right? You don't need to eat the whole elephant at once. It's step by step, little by little, right? And so you don't need to start right with connecting with this large group of people or speak in front of a group. You can say, hey, what's just one person that I can meet today or this week or at this event or whatever it is that you're trying to do. Just start small with a small initiative, small intention, small goal, and that'll help you continue to make progress from there. And then finally, make sure to find time and space to just breathe. And this is part of just the opportunity to gain awareness, because a lot of times anxiety and fears will come up in feelings that we have in our body and our emotions and everything, and engaging in mindfulness practices to increase the awareness. And there are breathing techniques like box breathing, where you can breathe in, hold for a few seconds, breathe out for a few seconds, and hold that for a few seconds so it looks like a box. They can help reduce some of those stress levels and get us to center ourselves and notice what's going on in our body and just focus on the physical sensation instead of all the things that are going on in our minds about what it really means. which can help us calm down and then move mindfully into the next interaction that we have. Now, if you have severe anxiety, obviously I'd recommend to chat with a professional who specializes in working with people in those circumstances. But these things can help us reframe some of our misconceptions about the situation and just find a few things in our toolbox to help us move through, because you don't need to bite off the whole thing. Just start small. We can make meaningful progress. Thanks so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed this. And if you're trying to level up your approach to deepening and expanding your network, I hope that you grab a copy of my new book, The Intentional Career Guide to Professional Networking. If you want to go deeper, I've also got free resources and an online course that can help you take this to another level that you can find more information on at intentionalcareerguide.com. Thanks so much for watching. If I can help you, your team, your organization in any way to deepen and expand your connections or your career, your leadership, I'd love to connect. Please don't hesitate to reach out. And between now and then, until next time, keep living your life and building a career with intention.